Hello everyone and welcome to Papercrafting Playdate. My name is Robin Armbrecht at Really Robin Stamps, and today is Friday, September 22nd, 2023. I welcome you to my craft room. Thank you so much for joining me. So today is episode 100 of Papercrafting Playdate. So we are celebrating today by doing a project. We're going to do a one-sheet wonder. And I'm really excited to share this new one-sheet wonder with you. Let's go right to the stamp table here. And I want to show you first some cards, okay? And then we're gonna do some chatting, and then we're gonna make our project. So if you are watching this not live with me right now, but if you're watching this later, feel free to fast forward to the good stuff that's going to be happening on the craft table. But I want to celebrate all of these amazing card makers that have sent me cards. So let's start with Barb. She did last card template with these beautiful colors together. It looks like rich raspberry and navy and petal pink. What a lovely color combination. I love this card, Barb. Thank you so much. And this card is from Rebecca. Thank you, Rebecca. This was so very, very sweet of you. Love this little like color blocking you've got going on in the background. And I love this single little embellishment right here. It's so just very simple and elegant. It's just like the perfect little layout for a sympathy card. Thank you, Rebecca. I have to say hi to some of these people. Hey, Wendy. Hi, Lynn. Hi, Susan. Hi, Joanne. Hey, Lisa. Hi, Colette and Annie and Judy and Janice and Sharon, Tony, Susie. Hi, Pat. And Jeannie and Carla and Sarah. Thank you so much. Janice, thank you for being here. Definitely say hello to your stamping friends. You guys meet here, and I love that you guys chat. So please continue to do that. Okay, so this next card is, look how fun this is. From Sherry. Has a little like little flap to hold it closed. I love how that works. That's a fun little fun fold. I love it. Hey, Sarah. Hey, Judy. And this is from Judy. Hello, Judy. I just said hello to you. Thank you so much for this fun, beautiful little firefly card. Look at that little lamp that she did in copper and made the little glow with her sponging and blending there. This is really precious. Thank you very much. This card is from a Wendy. She wrote me a letter. That's why there's nothing inside. Look how beautiful these papers go together. And I love this little punch that you did on the daisies, Wendy. That was really pretty. It's like a little, I know it's not Stampin' Up, but it is, it goes so perfectly inside a flower. I love that shape. So this is a fun fold too. This is a Dutch door. Very, very sweet. Thank you, Wendy. This is from Anne. Love it. Love the little fall critters. Gets you right in the mood. This is from Susan. And this is like that same little fun flap. Isn't that cool that I got two cards with the same, but this one is like on the horizontal. I love it. Use that really pretty inked botanicals paper. Thank you so much. This is from Anne. She used the new set of masks that work like stencils, but they layer together so you can layer. Look how beautiful that shading is. And then she put that background stamp. Oh my goodness, made this focal point cluster. Anne shared this card at our last Butterfly Friends gathering and over Zoom, and she was sharing how she put it together and the layers and all of that. And then I got it in the mail. Oh my goodness, so exciting. So beautiful. And then this last work of art here is from Charlotte. She sent me the last 4 months of the calendar. She says she makes a calendar every year, a little desk calendar, and so she sent me the last 4 months of this year so that I could enjoy her little calendar. Isn't that gorgeous? This is precious. Thank you so much. That's going right back up there on the wall. All right, let's see. Okay, Wendy says it was an old Stampin' Up. Oh, I might have it then. I might have that old Stampin' Up punch. That's awesome. All right, I'm going to stand up. And, well, actually, no, we're going to chat for just a minute more. Sorry. Hey, Patty. Hi, Penny. Hi, Wendy. Hey, Sandy. Thank you. Maureen. Hi, Lori. Thank you, Susie. Hey, Luann. Hi, Rebecca. I just showed your card. Hi, Michelle. So I did a little research. I just, thinking about what to do today was way too much pressure. I should have just never even made a big deal about it because I thought, well, I don't know. There's so many things that I have on my list that I want to do for Playdates. But anyway, I just went and I looked back on YouTube and I looked at the videos that I've done since. So I started in January of 2021. That was when I did my very first Papercrafting Playdate. And I just kind of looked through and I saw which videos have the most views. And then if I could kind of get a feeling for what it was that, you know, people liked. And so anyway, it's very clear once I did that. So I wrote down the top 5. People like one-sheet wonders and projects where they make multiple cards at one time, which makes sense. I love that too. And so the number 1 spot that has the most views ever was my second Papercrafting Playdate, which is very funny to me because I didn't know what I was doing, but I created a 12 by 12. No, sorry. I'm saying it wrong. That was number 2. The number 1 most viewed video is my double one-sheet wonder, which was episode 21. I should just read my paper instead of trying to remember. So that was this pattern. And I love this one. You use 2 sheets of 6 by 6 and it makes 5 cards and they are interesting. And I love this pattern. I make it over and over all the time. The second one was my second most viewed video was my second one-sheet wonder. And that was this one. That was episode number 2. And this one's pretty classic. Okay, so if you're just watching for the first time, all these designs and these patterns are at reallyrobinstamps.com. And I'll try to link them all together. But there's a what do I call it? A resource library on my website, so you can go and you can kind of scroll down. They're in order from past Playdates, so you go all the way to the bottom if you want to find episode number 2. Then the third most viewed was the 4-in-1 quadrilateral 6 by 6. I didn't print that pattern. And then the next one was faux quilting using paper scraps. Another thing that we all love to do, right? Using up those scraps of paper. And then tied for 5th was a stack, cut, and shuffle video and another one-sheet wonder, which is this one that we did with note cards. And so that long story short, that is what has driven me to today. And we're going to do another one-sheet wonder. And so I created a new one for us. So this will be linked in the description box sometime later after this video, and you go right to my website and download this one too. So now let's get started on it. So I'm going to take this away and I'm going to just show you the large size pattern. Okay, so this makes 10 cards. Let me move this up. September Hostess Code. You can find that in this description box too. We are earning a gift card kit this month. All right, so this makes 10 cards. You can see the cuts are very easy. They're either squares or rectangles or triangles, so it's Very simple. So let's talk about what paper you're going to choose. This is the one I'm going to use today as we put these cards together. But this is a one sheet wonder that you use both sides of the paper for. And so you want to make sure you are choosing a piece that has the colors coordinating front and back side, and that also you have different patterns that will go together. So just look for those kinds of features when you were choosing a piece of paper to use with this. So since we're making 10 cards, I cut 10 Pretty Peacock card bases. So this piece of paper is taken from the Very Cute Suite. No, it's not. Sorry, that was not true. There is a Very Cute Suite, and that's the stamp set that I'm using on page 24. But the paper is the other one that matches this suite, and it's at the very front of this September to December mini catalog. It's called A Walk in the Forest. So this is the paper that I'm using. I'm using that piece right there. And the colors in this paper are really, really just fun and wintry. And so even though these cards might seem, well, they are going to seem Christmassy, I'm kind of picturing them being cards that I send to my family maybe after Christmas as like little thank yous. So the greens and the blue in this paper here are Pretty Peacock, Garden Green, and Old Olive. So it's just very, very really neat colors together. Okay. And here are the other colors. So you get also the lighter blue, the pecan, and the cherry. So this paper is part of a give back. When you purchase this paper, you get to help. Part of what you pay for the paper goes to a charity, like a charity of giving for Christmas time. So that's exciting. All right, what else do you need to do this one sheet wonder? You will need some pieces of coordinating cardstock, and so I picked one of the other colors that I thought would go well with my card bases. I picked Old Olive, and as we go through each card, I'll just give you the sizes, but it's all on the PDF so that you can look at those directly. And then we're going to create some focal points to put our greetings on. So let's first cut this up. Let's take a peek at this before. All right, so the first thing that you're going to do, I put some dotted lines on this, and in the directions it says the first thing you're going to do is you're going to cut off 2 inches from the bottom, and then you're going to make these cuts right here, okay? And these cuts are going to go 1 inch, 1.5, 2.5, 3, and 4. So we had to cut this off at the bottom. So let's just talk about our patterns again for a moment. When I've made this, I've made it a few times now. I like to have, if there is a direction, and there's definitely a direction to the designs on this pattern paper, all the trees are going in one direction. You want that direction to be vertical like this when you start to cut. So I'm going to make that first cut down here. The back side is stripes, and those also work really well if they're going up and down vertically like that. So they are matching the direction of the trees, which is kind of helpful. Okay, so let's bring in the paper trimmer. So the first thing we're going to do is turn it, and we're going to take off 2 inches from the bottom. I'm just going to put that aside for a second. We'll cut that later. Then I'm going to turn, and then we're going to start making these strips here. So we're going to cut into the strips first, and then we'll cut those individual pieces. So the first one is 1 inch. Okay, the next one is 1.5 inches. Let's see if I do this. Can you see this at the same time? Hey, pretty much. Let's do it that way. There we go. Okay, so the next one is 1.5 inches right here. So this one looks like it has more pieces, and it's probably a little bit more complicated than the other two, but that's kind of a nice progression. If you are new to stamping, you can start with an easier one sheet wonder and then do something more complicated the next time, and helps you to try different things. Next one's at 2.5 inches. The next cut is at 3 inches. And that leaves you with a 4-inch strip. Okay, this last one is 4 inches. So they're nice and easy measurements. Okay, so now let's just stack them back together, and we're going to start cutting them into pieces. So the other thing that is on the one sheet wonder. Hi, Diane. Thank you. Hi, Laura. Thank you, Rebecca. Yeah, I put some press-ons yesterday so I could have just this like happy little nail, and they've already popped off, you know, this morning, so we'll see what happens. The other piece of information that's important on this pattern is the numbers inside, because that tells you the number of the card. This is how you keep track of your pieces that piece goes to. So I'm going to start now cutting these marks on the strips, and then I'm just going to sort them into piles according to the card number. So number 1, the first strip and the second strip, they both get cut the same way. So I'm going to layer them together on my paper cutter like this. So we're going to cut at 3 inches. Make sure they're straight. Okay, we're going to cut at 3 inches, 3 inches, 2 inches, and 2 inches, like that. And so card 1 is going to use one set of the 3-inch and the 2-inch. Card 2 is going to use the other set. So this one has a repeating card on it, which I kind of like because this is a fun little design. So there's card 1 and there's card 2. And you are going to flip some of these over and use the other sides. The next piece, the 2.5-inch strip, we're going to cut a square at 2.5. Whoops, let's measure correctly, 2.5. And then, oh, these are all 2.5-inch squares, yes. So we can just use that one measurement. Okay. And the first one gets cut in half diagonally. So I'm going to put those corners on that cutting track. Okay, one of those goes to card 3, one goes to card 4. I'm just setting these off to the side in the piles. And then these 3 are all for card 6. All right, so now we're on this row here. We're going to do 3 cuts at 1.5 inches. See, when you watch this next time, you can get your piece and cut along with me. Does anybody remember, as long as I'm feeling nostalgic today, does anybody remember what their first video was that they watched, that they were really excited about the project? This piece left over goes to card number 7. Or what was your favorite paper crafting playdate? I would love to know what your favorite thing is. Okay, so now I'm on this last one. The first cut is 4 inches, so that makes a square. And that square gets cut in half diagonally. Does it matter? I don't think so. For this particular pattern, I don't think it matters. See, if you have a smaller pattern that's not directional, that makes this even easier. But you can make this work. I've done it with both. Okay, so we've got card 3, card 4, and then we're going to cut at 3, That gives us 2 that are 3 by 4, and one of them gets cut diagonally. And that's for card 8. And this is for card 9. And now I'll cut that first 2-inch strip that we cut off, gets cut in at 4 inches. Okay, there's 1 4-inch and 2 4 inches. Sarah, if I'm remembering correctly, this is the video that led me to you and Thank you. I'm so glad you're here. Like Annie likes the Focal Point Cluster series. Yes, that was a favorite of mine too. Stack, cut, and shuffles for Judy. Oh, Deanne, this is going to be your first one sheet wonder? Okay, well, just so you know, you've got those other patterns. All right, so I did this, and I just cut this in half. So these are 1 inch by 4. One goes to card 9, one goes to card 10. Let's see, and this one goes to card 7. So off to the side here, what you can't see is that I have piles of what I just cut. And now I'm just making sure that I have them in the right space. Okay, I think I do. So now the fun part comes and you get to assemble. So before I start that, I'm just going to go through the pieces that I added on. So I picked a contrasting color, and this is Old Olive. Again, all these measurements are in the PDF. So with, let's see, card number 1 has this piece. Card number 2 has a 1-inch strip. Card 3 and 4 has this square. So I'm going to cut that in half. Okay. This is card number 5, 6, 7 just has this tiny little strip. 8, 9, 10. Yay. Okay. You can get all of those pieces for the coordinating cardstock cut from like one full sheet of 8.5 by 11 and like another half sheet. So it's about 1.5 sheets of extra. Okay, so let's put these cards together. I'm going to put 10 and 9 and 8 and 7 over here. And we'll bring in our card bases. Cindy, the PDF for this project that I'm doing right now is not posted yet, but it will be this afternoon once the video is over and I put up the blog post. So there will be a link in the description box for this video. That's where you click on the word more, and there's going to be all kinds of information there. There isn't anything there right now except for one sentence, but there will be a link there that'll take you right to my website where the PDF is for this blog post. And that's how all the videos are. So if you're brand new and you're going to go and watch some different play dates, that's where you find all of the PDFs. Hey, Claudia. Hey, Cheryl. Thank you, Susie. See, you would answer all my questions. I should just focus on my project. Okay, here's my 10 card bases. So let's get started. So we're going to do design number 1. And here are the pieces. That's 2 3/4 by 5 1/4. And then we have these fun little strips. And so what we're going to create is just kind of a little rectangular patchwork. And we're going to keep 2 of these. I'll just zoom in a little bit for these. For that, maybe let's see. There we go. And then we're going to flip the other two and we'll get this fun little design. So again, even if you don't do a one sheet wonder, this is a neat little way. You can actually do one more row of these across the front of a card and it looks really cool. So now we need adhesive, don't we? I'm going to use liquid adhesive for these. And I created those the mat so that there's like 1/8 of an inch around the edge. Do you see how the contrasting patterns work with each other? That's just, you want to keep in mind that little element when you are looking for the papers that you want to try with a one sheet wonder where you flip. Because not all one sheet wonders are exactly the same. If you look up, you can just Google one sheet wonders and you will find more patterns than you could do in a long time. And some of them are one-sided so that you just use the one side, and then some of them you flip the pieces for double-sided pattern paper. And what's really nice about a one sheet wonder is that it's like a puzzle. And so when you want to just sit down and work on a project and make some cards without having to come up with every layout on your own, you can use a one sheet wonder and kind of divide up one piece of paper and then create all these cards with it. And it's just kind of a fun way to make some cards and multiple projects at once. Okay, so I'm going to glue it over here where the card opens, but you can definitely put it on either side. Okay, so that's card number 1. I'm just going to put that number on the back. Okay, card number 2. This is, I really love this pattern, so that's why I had this repeating, but this time we're going to do it just a little bit differently so you can see some flexibility here. I'm not going to use a matte piece like I did here. I'm just going to glue them right to my card front. Like that. So you can see, let's say you didn't want to use the one sheet wonder, but you wanted to put one more 1-inch strip over here. You could flip this again and you can make a little pattern. But instead of that, I'm going to put our 1 inch by 5 1/4 over there and just create that kind of card front right there. Hey Susan, hey Shelly. Okay, so I'm going to leave a little bit larger border here. There's a little bit more space. Actually, all of these designs today really don't have to have the piece of coordinating cardstock. It just kind of is adding a little bit more interest, but you could do all of these and just put them directly onto your card base if you want to keep things very simple and just make some very simple cards, which I love simple cards. And then that one goes over there. Got just a little bit of glue that leaked. Okay. Now I have glue on my fingers too. So if you guys, I'm a huge fan of this liquid glue, but you do get little glue oopses every once in a while, and you let them dry completely, and then you just get one of these adhesive erasers. It's something you can get on Amazon. Stampin' Up! Used to actually sell it years and years and years ago, but they're real inexpensive. It looks like an eraser, and that's what it is. And once the glue is already dry, you just kind of gently rub on over the glue, and it will release it from the page. I don't know how it does it. It's magical. Okay, so there's card number 2. Okay, cards 3 and 4 are made with the triangles. And so I've got 3 different versions here. So that was this piece here and this piece here. And so for one version, we're going to put our papers like that and have them overlap in the middle, and then the coordinating piece that we cut is just going to layer on there to give it a pop of color. Sandy, that's a really good point. One Sheet Wonders, she says, One Sheet Wonders are relaxing to make. And yes, because you don't have to think about the layout. You just have to kind of get your supplies ready, and then you follow the pattern. Jaylene says she has to do this with black and white, and I agree 100%. Find your favorite black and white double-sided paper and make a set. Okay, so that's going to go all along the fold like that. And the tiny little corners of the triangles stick out. And so you just want to snip those off. But it's not very much. And then this one goes along the opening edge, and you just wanted them to meet and overlap. I thought that was kind of a neat design. Okay, so that's card number 3 with the triangles, card number 4 with the exact same triangles. So this one you can do lots of different things with, but I was going to layer the triangles the same way. And do them opposite like that, because that's just a very pleasing layout. But you can also kind of play with these, and you could let's see if we do it this way, layer these like I always call this a K card, because to me it looks like the shape of the letter K, and then you could put this one in the other corner, and you get kind of a nice little space here to stamp a greeting, especially if you've got like a long word to go in there. That's a nice little greeting. Okay, but I'm going to just go back to my original idea. I just want you to see the flexibility of these shapes. You can do a lot with them. Okay, so we're going to layer the triangles together. This is where I accidentally cut this when I was cutting the One Sheet Wonder. I accidentally cut in 1/2 inch too early, and so there's a little cut in there. But I'm just going to glue it down, and just kind of with my bone folder now, where that little edge is, I'm going to press that into the paper. And you can still see the cut, but it's barely. I think card making is so forgiving. with mistakes. That's probably one of the reasons why I was drawn to it. It's because it's paper and you can fix your errors. Okay, so that's card number 4. Just stick those up there. Okay, so card number 5 has a piece of coordinating cardstock that's 3.5 by 4.5. Let's just go ahead and put this on here. I love this bold olive with the pretty peacock. If you had a lot of winter birthdays, this would be great paper to use for just winter cards, winter thank you notes, I think. That's so true, Susan, the bone folder. It's such a versatile tool. You can just use it. Yeah, bends, wrinkles. Yep, you can smooth them back out. All right, so this layout uses the 3 pieces. I'll refer back to this. That was this piece right here. They're 1.5 by 3. And we're just gonna kind of spread them out over that background like that. How fun is that layout? So easy. And then if you do that, right, it's magical. So I'm gonna go a little bit over. I should have thought about the stripes clashing with my striped paper, although I didn't pick this paper until this morning, so that's okay. And then I'm going to do the same thing on this side, on the bottom. Now, if your pattern paper is different, and your pattern goes in a different direction, then this definitely, like all these cards, you can adjust them to be portrait or landscape. So you can make that change once you start cutting up your paper. You are not the only one, Deanne. She said, I'm so glad I'm not the only one who cuts things wrong and then covers it up. I mean, is it really even a card if you didn't have to like cover up a little something? Is it handmade? Okay, so that's card number 5. Card number 6 uses a piece that's 2 inches by 4 1/4. I love this layout too. So this piece right here, 2 by 4 1/4, that's going to go right in the middle. It's better if you measure so you get it exactly, but I'm just going to eyeball it because that's more fun. Okay, and so let me just refer back. So these are the pieces right here. Okay, so this one I put 6 or 8. So I'll show you another set of cards where I used this other piece on card number 8, but this one is going to be diamonds like this, and then this one's going to go in the middle, so it's like overlapping diamonds, and then they have that pop of color in the back. Okay, so I'm going to just put that point right in the middle, and then I'm going to make sure these points are kind of going along the line that this cardstock created across the card. That will help you get it straight. And then once you have that one straight, the rest of them will be easy to place. So I'm going to do the same thing, and I'm going to look at these tips here, these 2 corners, and then make sure it comes up at the top. So here's where you would stop if you wanted to use that extra piece on a different card. Then you could just put your focal point right in the middle. but I kind of like the idea on all of these cards to have both of the pattern papers showing. So I'm going to go ahead and overlap these. And then I just want to make sure these 2 points kind of all line up here. I like that one. That's a fun layout. Okay, that's number 6. Okay, let's bring number 7. Okay, 7 has the largest piece of pattern paper, so you can decide which side you want. And this one's going to just make this little like L here. I think I'm going to stick with that. I'm going to stick with my stripes being more of the accent piece. Okay, so to line this one up really easily, we're going to just put a little bit of the adhesive on the one side. And then attach it where the card opens. Like that. And the reason I'm doing that is because it's a little hard to put this one first and get it exactly even with the edge of this. So if you attach this side first, then you can slide this one underneath and get it aligned the right way. Deanne, I sure do. I use pop dots all the time. I'm going to put another focal point on here that's going to be raised up, and so I only like to raise up one layer usually, especially if I'm thinking about cards that I'm sounding for Christmas. I really try to keep them as flat as possible so that I don't incur extra postage. All right, so there are tiny little pieces, and this is optional, but I just wanted to have that little pop of old olive. It's just going to go right along the side there, and this is a 4th, clearly I didn't measure that right. It's supposed to be a 1/4 inch by 5.5. Got just that fun little layout there. Okay, card 8. Card 8 uses these 2 pieces right here, and then optional square. I'll show you kind of where I was going to put that. And our extra piece is 2.5 by 5.25. So this piece just kind of goes centered right in the middle, leaving a little 1/8 inch on the top and the bottom. So these, depending on your pattern, it's going to be vertical or horizontal. Again, this will have to be a horizontal or a landscape card. You're just going to separate them and make it evenly extend past this piece of old olive, or I guess, what am I trying to say? So this is going to be a 1/4 inch, and then how they extend on the top and the bottom is a 1/4 inch. So you've got this nice little layout. And then if you decided you wanted to use this square right here, you could put this square right in the middle, either as a diamond or as a square. So that's where another place you can locate that little square. So I'm just going to make sure that it is, what sticks out on either side is even. And then that I have the like a 1/4 inch border there. I think that's a fun little layout, and all it needs is that little focal point to put on there. Okay, so that's card number 8. Hi, Faye. Okay, card number 9 uses a trimmed 1/4. Okay, and then we've got, let's see, we're going to do it this way. So this piece is 3 by 4. It's this piece for number 9, and then you have this 1 inch piece to use. And so this is going to kind of be a background, or so you can put it like that, or you can have it showing. This is just a classic card layout right here. Or depending on your patterns, you can have it overlapping. If you put this right in the middle, you can have it overlapping your trees like that. And then you've got a place, you know, kind of an obvious place for a little focal point. So what did I decide? I kind of like all these layouts, but I think I'll do this one. And then I'm going to center that. My eyes are playing tricks on me today. Okay, last card, card number 10. Uses a piece of 3 1/4 inch by 4 1/4. And then these last 2 pieces, which came from here and here. And again, you're going to just create just this nice little focal point. Hey, Sherry. You're going to have to go back and watch the front because I showed your beautiful black and white card at the beginning. So the pattern design on the paper you choose will dictate the orientation of this card too. So mine's going to be a landscape card because of the trees. And that's just going to simply go right there. Easy. Okay, so card number 10, 9, 8, 7, no. That's not 7. This one's 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. You ready to create our focal points? Susie, exactly. So if I had had unlimited time this week, I was going to make the gift card holder. I do have several gift card holder patterns that you can use to create, but let's to create a card holder for 10 cards. So now I'm going to bring in this stamp set, and I'm going to use the warm wishes and the snowflakes to create our focal points. And I want to to show you this new bundle that is an online exclusive, which just means that it is only online. It's not in any printed publication, and it you can get it separately or you can get it as a bundle. It's kind of neat because it's an all occasion stamp set, and it has some unique greetings that go with like wedding, sympathy, and I think that's probably the main thing, but I think you can kind of peel off those greetings and use them for different occasions. And I always get just about every punch, especially a punch that's a label or a shape. And so this one is this elongated hexagon. So that is going to be the place where the greeting goes on my focal point. And I'm going to use, there's 2 frames for the punch. I'm going to use this little bit thicker one. And so we would need 10. I'm just going to put one together for you, but I have to stamp the whole strip there. Okay, so the warm wishes is going to come from the Berry Cute. And we'll stamp that in black. Okay, I know I always mention this, but it is one of the things that makes my life easier when I get a new punch is I figure out the size of the opening so that when I go to create things, especially in multiples, and I want to use my paper, sparingly, I figure out what is the size of the opening in both directions. And so this one is 2.5 inches long or wide, and then it's 2 1/8 inches tall from the highest point there. And so when I go to make multiples, then I know I need a strip of paper that's 2.5 inches wide, so that I can just stick that in there and do my stamping on. And then I can kind of figure out ahead of time how many would fit on that strip generally. So I would know how many strips of paper would I need to cut. Let's say you were going to, make 50 cards. You don't want to just randomly start punching into a whole sheet of paper. You want to make sure you get the most out of your sheet of paper. Now, because this one is a hexagon, if you did do a full sheet of paper, you can see how you could tuck in, what am I trying to say? You can see, let's bring the stamp back. If you didn't do the strip method, you could stamp these pretty close together like that. You could get a row of 3 in between the 4, and then you would have to kind of cut with scissors in between first before you punched it out, but that would be another way. But before I punch them out, I wanted to add a little bit of sponging. So I've got my blending brush with my Peacock ink, and I'm just going to, because my paper, the one side of the DSP has so much white on it, I don't want my greeting to look too blah. So I'm going to add just around the outside so that the inside is going to still remain a pop of color. Like that. And now we'll punch that out. Is that not the greatest sound ever? Crunch. All right, see how it kind of just looks like little clouds? And then I'm going to take these little snowflakes and let's just stamp a couple. So you can do this on any place in your card where there's just a little bit of the background showing. You can add a little bit of background. So there's 2 snowflakes in this set, and I just put them on the same block so that I could stamp them together to save time. I stamped it off once first, so if you're coordinated, you could stamp on your card first and then stamp on your greeting so you get a lighter version. And I'm just going to stamp one more time, use up all that ink, and get an even lighter version. And then you've got just a nice little background on your greeting. And then, so I love punches. So when I was thinking about like, what's my favorite thing to do? That's what I should do for the 100th episode. Definitely came up with a one sheet wonder, but then I was also like, you have to use punches because using punches is your favorite. So I'm going to make a little layered focal point, and I'm going to use the banners punch and the decorative circle because those are my favorites. And so I already cut out of the garden green, so I'm going to bring in the other pop of green that we haven't used, and then I have a strip of old olive that we'll use the banners punch on. Thanks, Judy. She likes the layouts. I do too. I'm really drawn to this layout right here, and I want to just kind of create this simple layout in a bunch of different. Actually, these two might be my favorite, but they're kind of different than anything I've done before, and I also like this one. So I hear you. Okay, so we're going to lay this together. The decorative circle punch definitely has 2 different sides on it. If you have this punch, it's so versatile. I use it all the time, but one of the sides of the scallops are more even, and then the other side is like a little bit flatter. I don't really know how to describe it, but that's one side, and then the other side is less, more rounded. I don't know how to, but anyway, I'm going to pay attention to that because I like how this lays with these more straight sides. Like that. That's gonna, it looks so pretty together. So we'll put some adhesive on here first and add this little in-between strip and just get that centered. And then we're gonna layer some ribbon. So we're gonna bring in just a little sparkle with this iridescent ribbon. And iridescent things usually have little pops of pink and purple and green in them, and this one really has some green in it, so it's really neat with these colors. I'm just going to put a little piece in there. Now I'm going to use glue because this is not going to show, but you usually don't use glue with ribbon. At least I haven't found a glue, an actual liquid glue that doesn't seep through, but since this is going to be underneath the greeting, it's okay. But otherwise, use a different method to attach your ribbon when it's going to be on the front of a card, like glue dots or dimensionals. I usually use glue dots. Okay, I like how this is coming together. Center that over the top. And then we gotta add our little pop. So these are also new, they're glitter sequins. They were available the last time I looked, so I'm trying to just use things that are actually available. Things are kind of coming and going in the online store because this catalog is so hot. Everybody wants the stuff. but you can still get lots of good things. So I'm going to put these, I'm going to put this one here. So even though these coordinate with another suite, and this is technically supposed to be Granny Apple Green. Granny Apple Green and Old Olive kind of have the same like undertone to them. So I use them together a lot. Just put two little guys on there. Okay, that's going to be our focal point. Remember, these cards I'm intending, because I'm mass producing them, trying to keep the focal point very interesting, but also very doable to make in multiples. Okay, so I've already made the rest of them. I don't want anybody falling asleep on the 100th episode. And we're going to pop them onto our cards. So let's talk about focal point placement on these. So again, we're back to card number 1. Since I already popped up the actual warm wishes, I am not going to pop it up anymore. I'm going to attach directly to my flat cards because all the cards are flat, but there's still going to be dimension in this focal point. So this one's kind of cute. You can put it obviously right there over where these intersect is what I'm trying to say. But I kind of like to see that little design. So I'm going to put it over here and have it overlap this way so that you can still kind of see that pattern. Just make sure it's straight. So that's my thinking on that. Okay, card number 2, same thing. You can really put it anywhere. I'm going to put it down here. Nope, I think I'm going to put it up here because I see that green is going to overlap the green there. Do I like it in the middle? Not really. I'm going to go back to this spot. Okay, that's straight. Card number 3, again, I really like this intersection of those papers, so I'm going to put this kind of like up in the corner or down below, just so I can see that pretty paper spot. So it's a little bit different than how I usually tell you. Oops, so this one I made first. So this one I used a different embellishment on. I actually used the iridescent pearls, and that's really pretty too, isn't it? I grabbed that one from the top. And I think I have more focal points here than cards, but that is a problem easily solved. So this one looks beautiful, over any spot on this card. So I'm going to put mine. Oh my goodness, did you hear that thunder? It is raining cats and dogs right now in central Illinois. Yeah, Jeannie, you're right. There's so many options. Susie, so I would actually, with the shape of this focal point, love for it to go that way, because I think that would be more pleasing with the little banner that I have on there, but because otherwise it covers up. But look how you could just turn that focal point and make it diagonal if you wanted to make sure you could kind of see what's behind it. So this one with my trees, I do think I like them kind of going to that angle. So we'll put that one there. Wendy thought it was a Harley going by on the street. Nope, that was thunder. Thank you, Natalie. This one looks good in all these little places too. This is a pretty big focal point, for these cards. So keep that in mind when you're putting things like that together. if you're going to have a bigger focal point, actually when you have smaller patterns in your papers, makes it a little bit easier to. I think this is working out pretty well though. Again, this one can go right in the middle. Let's just do that. You could stick it off in the corner here if you had something smaller. Put that one right there in the corner. And we've got one left over because I stuck my pearls on there. That's all right. Okay, so we have our 10 cards. Let's see. That took us about an hour with all that talking. I wanted to just show you though, because I don't always do the insides. So let's say you're mass producing cards for a holiday or any occasion, and you just have one stamp set. You pick out the pieces you use for your card, but then use those other fun pieces for the extra areas. If you don't want to take the time to create and build a scene on your card with the polar bears as your focal point of the card, you want to keep it simple by using the paper to build your card, but you've got all these fun little pieces to use. Definitely still use them and create your art with them on your envelope and on the inside of the card. So let's put together a piece to go on the inside as the insert, because you definitely need one of those. These are pretty peacock cards, and so that would be impossible to write on unless you had white ink. So there's our inside greeting. These actually go together really well. So there's 3 greetings in this stamp set: warm wishes, Christmas is better together, and Merry Christmas. So you can actually layer them really nicely. If you have this on the outside, you can put Christmas is better together, Merry Christmas right underneath it. Let's just do it. Let's just do it. And we'll do it in blue, in the peacock color. Okay, so now we have our layered message, and we can put in a couple of our snowflakes like that. And then we want to stamp maybe the tree in garden green. This is a 2-step tree. So we'll do the outside in old olive. So this is kind of where you can have fun with your images. And not have to worry about building a scene. And so I've already, this stamp set's bundled with a bear punch that will punch out that bear. And so I've already punched him out and gave him a little scarf. So we'll stick him there in front of the tree. And just so we can use all the pieces, give our little bear a hat. Okay, so that's going to go on the inside of our card. Of course, I have to pay attention. I have to put this in one of these cards here that are portrait, and I'll have to do it in the other direction for the others. cover that one up. Okay, so there we've got that, and then we want to use all those beautiful pieces. So let's stamp the other polar bear. There's 3 polar bears, so cute. On our envelope. Let's say he's looking at the snow. On one side, and then there's still pieces left over. There's still these cute little presents that you can put on the other side. So that's a way you can feel really good about your using all the pieces. I just did those in the same color. I meant to do one in both greens, but that's okay. You get what I'm doing. So you can get your little assembly line set up when you're mass producing and kind of get it all decorated at once. And once you've figured it out, then that takes a lot of the work out of there. Okay, I hope you loved that one, Sheet Wonder. And I want to see your cards, but when you make them, no but, I want to see your cards when you make them. There's our 10 cards, our one Sheet Wonder. So let's just see how it changes when we change the paper a little bit. I'm going to zoom out a little bit. So this is a pack of paper that is also an online exclusive right now. It's called Shining Christmas. This is an easy pack. So this was supposed to be for a celebration paper that didn't happen, and it's foiled red. So all of the red is, you can see it shining on there. So you've got Argyle, beautiful little stripes, presents, candy canes, holly, and then this Christmas tree, which I used. And so the back side is real red. Or is it cherry cobbler? It says it's cherry cobbler. And then there's other cherry cobbler with white designs. Very versatile, lovely, thick, delightful paper. So I used this piece here. Again, I had some stripes and trees. And so these cards don't have the focal point on them, but I just want you to see it first with another paper similar. So these are card number 1. Card number 2. In this case, I just cut off an inch of the card front and put that piece on the inside of the card just to make it a little bit more interesting for that layout. Something different. And here's 3. And here's 4. Card number 5. Let's see, 6. 7, there's number 8, 9, and 10. Okay, so this is on cherry cobbler cardstock with, they're saying this is Mellow Moss is the green in here. So classic Christmas colors. Those I will finish for sure. And then I tried with this other pack of online only paper. Right now, it's called Tartan Foil 12 by 12. I don't think I've ever had paper that is foiled on both sides. Let me pull this out. So there are, let's see, 3 colors. So you get 3 sheets. No, you get 2 sheets of each color. So there is Pebbled Path, Lost Lagoon, and Copper Clay. And so one side is a darker plaid pattern, and then the other side is also, it's not really foiled, it's like shiny, it's like glossy, but because it's so shiny I keep thinking it's foiled, but it isn't foiled. But then you get this other beautiful plaid on the other side, so it totally coordinates together, and it's also shiny. So I took the Lost Lagoon and did the template with Lost Lagoon. So there's card number 1. Okay, so there's the little focal point, kind of the same little elements. I did do some die cutting and cut out some pieces. There's card number 2. There's 3 and 4. Okay, so this is a really neat paper because of the shine to it, and then added a little bit of glitter. Oh my goodness. So these are probably my favorite. Oh my gosh. Really interesting. They just, you know, this is a neat way to make multiple cards, and it feels like the cards are all different, right? And you're not doing the same thing over and over and over again. Okay, do you have a favorite so far? These are definitely my favorite. All right, so then I wanted to try it with non-Christmas papers, and so this is another pack that's available right now in the online store called Delightful Floral, and it coordinates with, what's the stamp set called? I've forgotten. I think it's like Translucent Florals is what it's called. And so these are gorgeous papers as well, with beautiful, nice watercolored backgrounds. So easy to use. Got our bright and happy colors, right? Yeah, the tartan's beautiful. It's like such a, it's not in your face lovely, but when you start to put it on a card, you realize how just the subtle shininess and the classic plaid is so beautiful. All right, so I had to take one of these pieces, right? How could I not do this? So I took the small print piece and I made these cards. So I decided to make the change where I would just stamp actually on one of the pieces of the designer series paper, the side that's just watercolored, just to do something different. And then I cut out the flowers for the focal point. So my greeting is not part of the focal point. This is just like an embellishment, basically. And I haven't decided about adding just a little bit of some actual shiny embellishments. I couldn't pick one, so I just thought, well, let's just sit on it for a couple days. But here's how you can use them in a little bit different way. There's card 3 and 4 with the triangles, and number 5. So here's a case where I only used the 2 squares. This is what, card number 6. And I took the other square, you'll see in a minute, and put it on card number 8. Sandra asks, what has been my favorite thing about being a demonstrator? Oh, you're so sweet. It's definitely the people. I have so many friends that I would have never met, including you, Sandy, that just put me in the path of so many people. That's the best part for sure. Okay, so you can put that square on number 8, and there's number 9, and there's number 10. Okay, so I hope you have in mind right now a piece of paper or a pack of paper you're like, oh, I need to go and try to make that. Do you have a favorite? So leave me a comment if you have a favorite set that I created. I'd love to know which one was your favorite. I'm going to take a minute and read through our comments and chat, but I just want to say first that I would have never kept going. I had only planned on doing 4 episodes of Papercrafting Playdates when I started, and I would have never continued to do this if you all hadn't cheered me on and been inspired to create your own cards by it, because that's really important to me. So thank you so much for all of your lovely comments and your friendships and all of that good stuff, because you know it's been a journey I didn't expect myself to be on, and here we are celebrating 100. So that's really awesome to me. So let's see. Love the plaids. Cheryl, hello Cheryl. She likes the Lost Lagoon. I mean, it's hard to even put this in the running, I think, because it's sparkly and shiny. Hi Mary, hi Colleen, hi Patricia. Yes, love that one. Let's see, wait, what did Wendy say? Oh, thank you. I'm the queen of layering, die cut, and punch shapes. Thank you, Colleen. Judy's going to use this for her January monthly cards. Thank you, Natalie. Barbara, I am in Springfield, Illinois, Central. Smack dab in the Central. Yes, Patricia, I go live on Fridays at 1 p.m. Central Time, but it's not every Friday. I always post my schedule for the month in my newsletter and on my Facebook page, so you know exactly which Fridays that I am going to go live. The tartan is Michelle's favorite. Thank you, Wendy. Susie, I hope you try this one. I want to see what your card. So if you're part of my Facebook group called Robin's Really Super Stampers, lots of people will create something that they learned on the Playdate on there. So it's a really great way to continue getting ideas. Maureen, thank you. I love templates too. It just makes crafting so easy. You shouldn't have to sit down and craft and be stumped if you're not feeling creative. If you're feeling creative, great, and you've got an idea, but sometimes we come to our craft table tired and we don't have an idea. We have to grab another idea and start copying ideas or using a pattern to get our creative juices flowing. So I am right there with you, and one sheet wonders are great for that. You can sit down, feel absolutely no creativity in your bones at all, and start cutting up some paper and gluing it down, and little magical things happen in your brain that make you happy, and you create some things. Yep, go back and check out the other one sheet wonders. When I put this post up later this afternoon, I will kind of put links to the other ones that were the most popular. Oh good, Lori's got her homework. You got homework for the weekend, don't you? Thank you, Lisa. Lost Lagoon. Thank you, Dawn. Yes, Julie Heights, she's amazing. If you like quilting, whew, you got to go see Julie Heights. She does all kinds of stuff. Lots of people enjoying the Lost Lagoon. I am so glad that one is your favorite. Thank you, everyone, again, for all the time that you've spent with me today and in the past and in the future. And until we meet again next time, I hope that you go be creative. Thank you so much.